Just forget to turn it
Did
off.
Most of the podcasts that we wind up doing are only like, I don't know, maybe an hour, 40 minutes even.
We're live.
Yes, we are. That's the little red button. Anyways, hello everybody. Postscript of the Brony Crusaders here with episode 4 of Bronies Synonymous. I got my co-host here is Rosie Sievers.
Hey there, everybody.
And we got Rolomania
ברוכים הבאים.
and Starlight Ginger Pony.
Hello, my little ponies.
I'm not going to ask. And we have Tricky Fox.
Hello, you probably never heard of me, but I'm here.
Well, heard of or not heard of is irrelevant at this point. Anyways, so our topic this week is going to be Keeping It in the Family is the title. And it's a discussion about the concept of family within the world of MLP or in Equestria, and maybe stories of our own families and how friendships in that work. Because it's already been said by multiple people that family is relatively the first friends that you have in life. So we're going to have some fun talking about it here.
Can I just mention?
However, Rosie has a small announcement she wants to make before we get started.
Yes. For most of you who may or may not have been aware of this, but over the past couple of days, some of my friends in the Brony community, including Eliora, Golden Fox, Lightning Bliss, and a few others, and also some other popular YouTubers like Dog Walker, aka Nostalgia Critic, and another popular YouTuber that I watch called Mr. Trilby Reviews on Mr. TARDIS, who reviews both movies and Doctor Who episodes. They've been campaigning on where's the fair use. Now, what that means is that recently YouTube has been really messing up their copyright system, because for many people who use YouTube as as a hobby to produce their content and it's like doing a commentary on movies, TV shows, and all that jazz. But for people who do make money out of their own content, like Nostalgia Critic, they've been hit really hard with copyright claims, and we don't know why YouTube is doing this, and also like some of the big companies that have been responsible for these copyright claims, including Hasbro, Disney, and some other big companies. They've been doing it. This is really unfair, because as you may remember, in July 2014, Dr. Wolf and also Mysterious Mr. Enter had their channels taken down by YouTube, and it was without warning and no proper explanations, but they took down being terminated. But thanks to the response of all of us Bronies here in the community, that they got their channels back. But now in like recent events, like people have been getting unfair copyrights on their videos, and well, for people who don't monetize their videos, it's not hurting them in a big way. But for people who do pay money, monetize their own content, this is going to be hitting them pretty much like hitting a brick in the wall. So we want you all to spread this message around, and also YouTube has really better sort this out, getting real people behind the scenes of sorting out these copyright claims, because they're just automated by robots. If we don't do something now, it will be a bit too late if we don't. So, where is the fair use? Please spread this in the comments below, if you can.
It's actually worse than that, to be honest, because if you watch through all of Doug Walker's, the Nostalgia Critic, is the initial person who created the video about it. If you watch his video, he actually explains that there are times where the person who files the claim will monetize that video. If it's a fraudulent claim, however, nothing gets done about it, and they get to keep the money. Even if they're caught with their fraudulent claim, they keep the money that they take off of the video, when that money should be going to the content creator themselves. So the whole YouTube system is completely botched up, and something needs to be done about it. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening within the next few days, possibly not even within the next few weeks. And if something doesn't happen soon, I am foreseeing right now YouTube losing its stance as the main video creation site in favor of someone who actually takes care of the content ID and fair use system correctly.
I could see that. I mean, there's a lot of places where you can upload videos now. YouTube doesn't have to be the only one anymore, you know?
Yeah, there's Daily Notion. I know of that one at least, and a lot of YouTubers that I personally know use that as like a secondary site to host their videos. And there's tons and tons of different like streaming sites out there, even for like television series, stuff that technically is illegal, but it gets the view of those out there anyway, and brings up interest in the series, and that's exactly what the creators actually want.
Yeah,
The sites aren't
yet
technically
still
making any money.
YouTube has a monopoly. It's the biggest site of to date, and it won't go away overnight.
It's not going to go away overnight, but I definitely foresee sometime in the future, especially if nothing gets taken care of the copyright infringement crap that they're pulling now. Because who was it? I forget who it was, but there was a link on Skype that I just saw. The guy had uploaded a video from like a 95 or 98 commercial, one of those 90s. It was a section of a commercial on M&Ms. But he didn't get a copyright claim from Mars, who actually owns the copyright for M&Ms and the M&Ms logo. He got a copyright claim from the World Wrestling Entertainment, whom has nothing to do with this, and WWE is monetizing the video, as in they're taking money for views on something they have no legal or copywriting claim to in the first place.
Yeah, I know. I sometimes do music videos, and on occasions, you know, I might use a soundtrack or something, and it's like, I remember one time it really made me mad, because I think I can't remember the song. It was an old one. I think it was like a Madonna song or something like that, and it was like this weird Norwegian band or something posted the copyright claim to it, and I'm like, what?
It's like, who the hell are you? You can't
even close to it at all.
But everything is automated at this point.
No, and it's like, I wasn't going to fight against it just because I don't know how or whatever, and I was like, fine, monetize it, whatever, because I don't monetize my videos anyways. And it was like, really? You're going to put some weird commercials on my channel when it's not even the right thing? It's not only bad for us, it's bad for the people who actually have the rights to a product, you know?
Yeah, people are utilizing the system in order to literally steal from content creators. And I'm not talking about stealing their content. I'm talking about stealing their revenue, their money. There are people who do this for a living, such as the Fine Bros, which they're a whole other can of worms. But there's also the Nostalgia Critic. There's also Matt Pat, who does game theory. There's tons of content creators on YouTube that do this for a living, and they're well known. And Doug Walker is the one who was the first one that I saw that made a statement about how you have an infinite chance at getting copyright claims, even if they're fraudulent. But you can only have 3 claims or 3 appeals going against these claims at all. But if those claims aren't settled within like 30 or 60 days or something like that, the claims stick. So you can be stuck with the time period of you can be stuck with all these claims, only be able to try and fight 3 of them, and all the rest of them are pretty much just guaranteed to take whatever the hell they want from you. Anyways. Sorry, I really didn't mean to go into the kind of a rant.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all about spreading the awareness of this.
Yes.
What was the topic about again?
Anyways, okay, back to the actual topic.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So,
Topic
yes.
for episode number 4 is keeping it in the family. We're going to talk about family being the first friends in life and the concept of family and MLP, and just kind of whatever you want to talk about on the subject. So who wants to take the first bout?
I'll take it.
Then go ahead.
Well, if no one wants to go first, I can. Has anyone noticed that the ponies seem to be closer to their siblings than to their actual parents? I mean, we very rarely ever see fillies or, little colts with their parents. They're usually with friends or they're with their siblings. Maybe this has something to do with the fact that parents give their kids more freedom in equestria to help them find their special talent. Or maybe this has to do with just how parents are in general.
Less danger.
Well, there is this implication. I think it's the official statement was that Sweetie Belle in fact does live with her parents and not with Rarity.
Yes, but we've only seen her with her parents twice.
Yeah, but that's more that most of her appearances focus more on her interactions with the other Crusaders. We have, I think, 2 episodes, the so social and To Whom Sweetie Belle Calls, that focus on her relationship with Rarity. And that's about it.
Yeah.
On the other
think
hand,
it would be. Sorry.
On the other hand, of course, we have Apple Bloom and Applejack, and well, we certainly do have a lot of headcanons concerning Applejack's parents, right?
They're pretty much confirmed as dead, though. That's the whole point behind the stars at the ending of what was that episode?
Apple Family Reunion.
Yeah, Apple Family Reunion. That was pretty much the confirmation. They didn't want to put it straight out there in everyone's faces because they have very young children watching the series, and that's the whole concept of the show. But,
it was a little bit less subtle in Crusaders of the Lost Mark.
Yeah, it definitely was a little bit less subtle. But yeah, the apples, that's kind of an interesting concept. That's one family we see a lot of. We get to see, we got Granny Smith, who seems to be the head of the house. We've got Applejack and Big Macintosh, which are the big, heavy workers out in the fields, which is most of the time why we don't see either of them, but we'll see more of Applejack because she's always around Twilight and the gang. But then we also have Apple Bloom, who is the youngest. She's discovering her identity and society as a whole.
Well, I think if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. After all, Equestria is very big on learning your special talent. And the only case where we've seen a parent that has shown to be really involved with her kid, which is Diamond Tiara's mom, where she straight up tells Diamond Tiara what to do in the episode, it shows that it kind of makes it hard for a pony to understand their kitty mark or their destiny.
I don't remember her name in the series. I'm just going to name her Bitch.
She's called Filthy Rich. Not Filthy Rich, that's her dad.
Spoiled Rich.
That's it. Spoiled Rich.
Spoiled Rich.
Spoiled Rich was controlling Diamond Tiara. She told her how to act, what to do, who to be friends with most likely, and so on and so forth.
She has told her who to spend her time with. She did that in the series.
So that caused Diamond Tiara to have issues, especially with her kitty mark and, herself, where we see other characters are given huge amounts of freedoms. All the ponies in Ponyville have no problem letting the CMC use expensive machinery in, the sweet shop or help sell apples or this and that.
Video, actually.
Little ponies, fillies, and children are given so much freedom, probably because it's a very safe place to live.
It's a very important aspect in Equestria for, colts and fillies to discover their identities before adulthood. That way they can settle into their new role in society and everyone contributes.
Exactly.
But yeah, you do have a point about the moms and dads not necessarily being all that active in their kids' lives. They kind of leave their kids to do whatever they feel is necessary in order to discover who their identity is, or what their identity is.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying family isn't an integral part of Equestria, as seen by the Apple family, which, by the way, I have a strange feeling that the Apples might actually have a lot more money than we're led on to. With that larger of a family and all of them in agriculture, it doesn't surprise me that they have a lot of money tied up in their land.
I need to say something, because I live in an area that is surrounded by rural development. It's all farms, and there's industries and factories and all this other kind of stuff. But there's a lot of farmland and ranch land and everything else around here. A lot of the money from that goes into equipment and the land and taxes and paying for supplies so they can do their farming and everything else. So they probably like you said, have a lot of money, but it's all going towards their...
Exactly. Tied up in the land.
Yeah, it's all tied up in the land and their equipment, and how many times have they rebuilt that barn?
Or Appaloosa. Appaloosa is a great example of that. The Apple family is constantly expanding. They moved to a frontier in Equestria.
That's not just the Apple family, though. That was a very large collection of settlers, which we've seen done in the past. It's the whole idea behind why Oklahoma has... They're considered Oklahoma is considered the Sooner State because of what happened during the land run. This is a little bit of a history lesson for you guys. It's considered the Sooner State because individuals would actually cross the line, the boundaries during the land runs, where people would run into this new explored land to stake claims on and begin their new lives. But there were those who would cross that line before they were allowed to do so and pick a stake for themselves. There were a few people who actually did that, and those families still technically own that land to this day.
Exactly. If only you could get land like that now.
Yeah, pretty much all the land is taken up, but there is actually land that is under questionable authority of who owns it, but that's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, that's essentially what they were doing for Appaloosa. It's not necessarily the Apple family expanding. It's more there's a new frontier that a collection of settler ponies have began trying to start their new lives there, which is why the apple farm or the apple trees orchard that they have there is so important. That's what they need to use in order to feed their town.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. Apple family and civilization seems to go hand in hand, or hoof in hoof. There's this implication that the Apple family was essential during the founding of Ponyville.
It was essential during the founding of Ponyville. We already know that.
And we do know that they are heavily involved in Appaloosa as well. So wherever they decide to farm their apples, there will be a town.
I honestly think that that's kind of... how was I going to say this? I think that's just kind of stereotyping the family itself, though. Because the apples, not the oranges. The oranges are a whole other can of worms. But the apples are kind of a stereotypical, quote-unquote, Western family. Yes, they're very family-oriented, which is why Big Macintosh, Applejack, and Apple Bloom are so close, as well as being so close to Granny Smith. And, of course, they keep in contact with Brayburn.
I actually have a theory about the oranges. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, they married into the family, and that's why. But
no, I think that maybe because we saw Granny Smith's dad. Well, what if Granny Smith's dad had a brother and he was the line of the Orange family? So they are technically
So he's
related.
push.
They're just what?
They're push.
Yeah, think about it. Granny Smith's dad decided to go into orchards outside. Well, maybe his brother decided to be a cook in a city using fruits and stuff like that to make delicious things. And maybe,
Rather
so
than
the
working on an apple farm. Yeah, I can kind of see that. But, I was saying something earlier. What was it? I forget. I do kind of feel like the Apple family is used to shrink the world in a way, because the settler ponies that we know more directly, at least in the series, are apples, including Brayburn, which have now, the Apple family has now established 2 towns, 2 townships in the country of Equestria.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't feel that they're using. I feel that they're using them to shrink the world more than what they should be shrinking it, to be honest.
Maybe.
Like Appaloosa probably would have been better if it was more established by another Western-style family and it wasn't just the apples.
Perhaps.
I guess I'll go next then. Yeah, the other family. Can't get my words out. Sorry. The other relationship in MLP that want to bring up is Twilight and Shining Armor. Now, when Shining Armor was introduced to cancel our wedding, it was like he just came out of nowhere. Like we didn't have any mention. We didn't have any mention of him in the first season. It was just came out of thin air, as well as Princess Cadence.
Yeah,
But luckily,
I definitely agree with Tommy Oliver on the fact that they probably just ran out of time and they just kind of had to pull this out of their asses. But there's also been people like Clover Keene, I think, actually did a video on the topic of how he kind of came out of nowhere, and we hadn't heard about him in the past 2 years of episodes. And
Well, the only chance we probably would have gone to hear about him would be at the Best Night Ever. But he was probably, since he's a guard, he was probably on guard duty during the Grand Galloping Gal.
well, he did a hell of a fucking good job then. All the animals in the garden ran wild and destroyed the dance.
They could have introduced him in The Return of Harmony.
So maybe he was, guarding Luna or something. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sorry for barging in. Rosie, what were you saying?
and the same thing happened like with Princess Cadence when she was introduced to cancel a wedding, and we didn't get a mention of her either. But luckily, with the flashbacks of when Cadence used to be Twilight's full sitter and the BBBF song of the relationship between Twilight and Shining Armor, got us satisfied with that. And then we have the Pie family. Now, what I really enjoyed about Pinky's family, because we have seen like the mother and the father and the 2 sisters Marble and Limestone in the Kingdom Chronicles in Pinky's flashback. But I really like the way they introduced the old sister Maud in Pinky Pride when she was seen in the family picture of their first party, and that was a really good foreshadowing to her debut episode. And also with the recent Housewarming Eve episode Heartbreakers, where both the apples and the pies met each other for the first time and trying to teach each other traditions. We got loads of great interactions, especially between B-Mac and Marble. Marble Mac, I ship it.
Everybody wants to say that it's incest, but I think that's freaking hilarious how everyone keeps considering it as incest, because Pinky herself winds up classifying herself as like a second or third cousin twice removed or something like that. It's like, how many lines are there between direct...
Fifth cousin...
Yeah, yeah, it's like fifth cousin twice removed or something like that. It's so insanely distant.
Yeah, I'm probably related to Rosie in a way like this or something like that. It's really distant. Not to mention,
Marble Mac shippers, we have hope.
Not to mention that.
All I know is that it would be hilarious if they had a kid together and she ended up like Pinkie Pie.
Oh dear gods!
Oh god.
Two of the quietest ponies ever, and then
literally having a foal that bounces off of the walls.
Yeah, all I know is it would be hilarious.
Pretty much.
I want somebody to draw a next gen for Marble Mac now.
That or
Somebody get a hold of Gray. Maybe we can get him. Maybe we can convince him to do that.
Anyway, while they did it better with Maud, I still kind of can't understand why they introduced her anyway. I really like her. I don't want her any other way. But you could have given her personality to Limestone Pie, and nobody would, and there would be no real difference.
There was so much Marble pictures and Marble Mac and all this other kind of stuff, and then I found a comic once that had Limestone popping up in the corner at the very end going, where the hell is all my art?
Okay, let's see. Who could Marble be shipped with?
No, Marble is already shipped with Big Macintosh. We need to find Limestone, either a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Limestone. For some weird reason, I'm thinking Rainbow Dash and Limestone.
I think she would better work with Applejack.
No, they wouldn't.
I'm getting I'm getting definitely a Rainbow Dash, that, or she needs a very submissive male. So how about Sofa and Quill Guy?
Quill Guy?
I personally see Limestone Pie as some sort of a foil to AJ. She is basically the head of the family. She runs the entire farm. And she basically says what she thinks at every moment. She's less honest but more blunt about it.
Oh, I just thought of who to ship Marble with, or who to ship Limestone with.
Yeah. Fluttershy?
Tom.
Really?
Oh,
yes.
How about, if you're going to go down that way, how about one of the Diamond Dogs? I mean, how much of an advantage would that be for her to marry a Diamond Dog with her skills at, like, rocks and stuff? That would be a good match, I think. And she could handle a Diamond Dog. She could keep one in his place. So, yeah.
Okay, so apparently I never figured out how the chat system works, but somebody has posted a comment on the live stream already. It just says hi.
Yeah, you just click the Q&A button and it should show us the questions.
Anyways.
So let's see.
No, we don't have any questions. Like, I don't know how we would get the questions.
Clearly important.
You and I can work out the technical shit later, but let's keep on with the conversation.
Seeing as we're talking about families, should we?
Yeah, we're talking about families, and now we're talking about shipping. So apparently, we're starting new families in this call as well.
Well, talking about new families, how about the baby?
No, hang on. I need to put a rule right now before we get anything even close to it. I don't know if you're going this route or not. I'm keeping away from the season 6 spoilers. So no comments about the new fold that I've heard about already.
And you
I'm going to talk about the cakes, babies.
Oh yeah, pound them.
They are adorable. They're like cakes. You can just eat them up. No, they're like cupcakes, not the creepy kind. So yeah, babies are clearly important, and because they're what keeps society going and all that jazz. let's talk about babies. And the best babies in the show are, of course, the cake.
Absolutely.
By the way, apparently,
They are the only notable babies so far.
Get fat when they are pregnant.
I think
Has
they're the
anyone
only
noticed
babies
that?
in
Like,
the
we
episode.
saw Kate
What?
squeak.
Pipsqueak.
Okay, what the
Not
hell
like a
is this?
baby. I mean, we get to see his first nightmare night. He's so adorable. So adorable. And now he goes to school now too. He's so cute.
He's a badass apparently because he got everybody. Well, it was either him or all the Cutie Mark Crusaders and Diamond TR being a bitch. He is now the president of the class. So yay!
So apparently they don't split up classes according to age. Maybe that's just like a Ponyville thing because there aren't enough little fillies or gentle colts. It does appear to be kind of a one-room school kind of way of teaching.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Little House on the Prairie, if you guys have ever seen that series. Because they had like a one-room schoolhouse, and everyone, they would take time out of the day to teach, the 6th graders this quick lesson, and the 4th graders this quick lesson. And then that's just seemed to be how the classroom worked. They may do the same thing in Ponyville, but like we were talking about earlier, and like I've already made a mention in my my LGBT video, I think a lot of the time that we see for the children of Ponyville is spent outside of the classroom, and they're out there discovering their identities. They're learning about how this type of people do their job and that type of people do their job, and do they have any skills for this or that, and that's just how I see it working. It's less like a traditional American classroom and more like like I said, more of a one room schoolhouse type, but they leave like half of the day open for extracurricular activities and self-discovery.
They get really long recesses.
Considering the Twilight time and so on, I could imagine that there's actually more that's more about private schooling in Ponyville, that the family is responsible to teach things to their children.
And so, like, public school is more or less just to teach them the basics of everything?
Yeah, probably. Of course, it's a different case if you are talented unicorns and you get shipped to Canterlot.
Yeah, if your special skill is magic, of course there's going to be.
And your friend starts strange cults in your absence. Because they couldn't handle that you are magically talented.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anybody else got something to talk about family stuff?
What about dogs or pets? Pets seem to be important, and pets are part of the family.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to cross the line between wild animal and sentient being in Equestria, apparently, as they are apparently able to read the scene in the Hoofields and McCalls.
Yeah, the clove-hooved animals are supposed to be the quote-unquote people or sentient beings, while the animals apparently are just really, really, really smart. Way smarter than real life.
Yeah, because they managed to convince the sentient creatures to take care of their every need. That's pretty smart.
Yes, I think
if I could get an entire race to wait on me hand and foot, or hoof, I damn sure would.
Fluttershy, I'm hungry. Can you go chase me up some worms? Please, I have a tummy ache.
As long as we don't have another one of those fucking angel bunnies.
Yeah, well, that's
He
another
has a
thing.
bunny. It's only a matter of time till there's more of them.
There's one thing I noted. the pets, Fluttershy's animals, became more prominent in this season. We saw Harry the bear a bunch of times. So it starts to feel that they become a supporting cast of their own for Fluttershy. And maybe she, and I could imagine that she sees them as her family as well. Any thoughts to that?
Well, unlike with Fluttershy's animals, like they are like a bit of her animal family, apart from Angel Bunny, who's well, you know.
Lily the rain holder.
Well, he's the spoiled child.
Yep. And they've been like helping her through a lot of things, especially in Scaremaster when they helped her how to become Flutterbat, making the Apple Family Corn Maze even scarier for her friends, and that was like very cool to to pull it off, as it were. And like they helped her also in Hurricane Fluttershy, where they helped Fluttershy train for the tornado to try and get better wing power. So I guess that counts as well. So, Anna was gonna win.
I forget her name or his name. I'm just gonna call him Goddammit because that's the dog's name in the mentally
Winona.
advanced series.
Winona.
So we know that we're not going into any spoilers, but we know that Princess Cadance is pregnant.
Well, duh.
Yep.
Although she isn't fat yet, and I want to see her fat. Happen. I want to see the fat princess.
I don't think we're gonna get a fat princess.
Probably not.
But she looked so cute. It was like a little potbelly. You remember how Twilight looked when she ate too much pie in episode 1?
That was adorable. Actually.
I know.
Well, not so. Of course, there was also that cute little apple bloom.
No.
It was just a gag, though. That big stomach was gone. Like the next time we saw her.
Can I just say that I kind of feel like, yeah, but you have to remember that was food. That's his baby. But anyway.
That's a very fast digesting stomach, then.
How about that 120 at the end of Canterlot Boutique?
I kind of,
Oh yeah, that one.
That was supposed to be another gag, too.
Well, she had a cutie mark of herself. I wonder what her special talent is supposed to be.
this is glad.
Anywho, else? Shall I start talking about my family and how they relate to MLP in some way?
Sure.
Sure.
Well, when I first first started showing my mom and dad about the show, and when I first became a Brony, it was kind of interesting because like they're really proud of what I do for my channel now, and I've shown them like a few of the episodes. Like my mom is a bit like Twilight because she likes reading books, and also she listens to music a lot. She's a music lover, and also like she's wise and kind and helps you when I feel down. I'm not sure which character that my dad can relate to because, well, Freeway is kind and sweet, and also he's funny and sometimes annoying, but there was so much. And his like fascination with trucks because he used to be a truck driver, and also he's a huge football fan, and he also likes Scooby-Doo that like you and I do. I know. So
Scooby-Doo is awesome.
I think I would go towards Big Mac. I think what my dad can relate to, because
Yep.
he used to be quite strong a few years ago, because he used to drive trucks a lot, so he used to that. And my family and I have a really strong bond, like the bonds of the main six in the show, because we've been through good times and the bad times. No matter what came up, we all stuck together, and I guess that's what MLP is, like a family-friendly show to any families, really, because they can take the lessons from any episode that may be relatable to them, and also helping them overcome obstacles in real life. So yeah, families are awesome.
Yeah, I don't have nice family stories like that. My dad and I used to be at each other's throats,
Aww.
especially during college. And then one day he finally just I think he finally just decided to accept me for who and what the hell I am, and now we hang out and watch TV.
Well, that
He needs to stop asking me, though. He needs to stop asking me what I think about movies or episodes, because I'll go into reviewer mode at that point. He's like, I just wanted to hear you say it was good or if it was bad.
Well, the big focus in MLP and family is, of course, the relationship between siblings. And I think this show does a pretty good job portraying sibling relationships. Especially one of my favorites last season, Brother Who's Social. I can really relate to that one. I too have a brother and a sister. Have a brother and a sister, and I feel often like Big Mac in this situation.
I'll be right back for a moment.
My brother is already accomplished quite a few feats. He's somewhat successful, and my sister is very similar to him in personality-wise, and that's why they get along much better. And I often feel a little bit left out in that relationship, so I really love the portrayal in that episode.
So you're the Big Mac and
Yeah,
the
pretty
Applejack
much.
Apple Bloom relationship.
Exactly. And but then again, I really care about those two, and I know they love me too, and I would also do a lot to spend some time with them.
Well, I don't think we really have any much more to say, Astria.
Oh. I want to mention an interesting story about someone else in my family. One of my nephews, he and his family came over for a little holiday, and one of the times I was on my laptop doing what I normally do, and my nephew came in, and he discovered all of my pony merchandise, and he discovered by accident, and he asked me, "So, do you watch My Little Pony?" And I said, "Yes." "How did you know?" And he said, "Well, because I saw all of your all the pony stuff, and I think it's pretty cool." So to this day, I still don't know how he actually guessed it, but it was actually surprising too.
He's a brony. That's got to be it.
That's
It
great.
runs in the family.
I don't think he's a brony as such, but when he gets older, he has to start explaining properly to him, because he's only about like It's getting approached for going to high school, so when he gets older, I'm gonna start like explaining it properly to him. Because he's like about 11 or 12 years old, I think. So yeah.
Okay. I don't know. The only funny family story I have that involves it is that I got my little nephew into the show, and his father got really pissed off at me, saying that I was trying to turn his son gay. And that coming from a man who watches the Powerpuff Girls when he's 23 years old. So, really, that's the only funny thing I have to say about it. And that's about it. Honestly, I think any show that teaches little boys to respect girls is a good thing. Although, with how a lot of women have been acting now, we also need a lot of shows that teach women how to respect men, too. Because no one's getting any respect anymore. And it's sad. It really saddens me.
Yeah, there's a lot of sexism out there. There's a lot of racism still, too.
I don't know. Like it's weird. Like, have you seen these videos of these women just wailing on men or, like, badgering them? Like, I dare you to hit me. And I'm like, what do you think you're doing? If you're going to act like a guy and just be pounding on a guy, I'm sorry. I believe in self-defense. It doesn't matter to me if it's a guy or a girl. If someone's hitting me, I'm hitting back. Regardless of sex, gender, age. I mean,
I hate everyone equal.
I mean, I'm not going to physically hurt
hate
a
everyone
child,
equally.
but I'm not going to let them hit me either, you know? But that's the beauty of a child. You can just pick them up, put them over there, be like, go now. Trust me. I have a nephew who thinks I'm a trampoline. Not fun. It's like he tries to sneak attack me. It's like I'm sitting on the couch, all of a sudden, boom, right into the back. or like he'll tackle my legs out from under me. That guy's gonna grow out to be a little ninja. He should work for one of those ninja restaurants in New York. I think still in business.
You mean the ones where they throw the knives with notes on it? It's like, what is that, a threatening note? Worse than that, it's the check!
Mm-hmm.
I stole
Yeah.
that from the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, by the way.
I see.
That would be awesome to go into a restaurant and that would be the case, though. That'd be a little bit dangerous, though. I don't think they could legally get away with throwing knives around.
No, but they do they
Um,
stab you with like wooden things and stuff, and they're like, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead." Da, 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 da. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I think that's all it is. And actually, I gotta get going. I hate to say this, but like,
Right?
I had to get going. So I'm Starlight Ginger Pony shining out, and as always, don't forget to sparkle.
I thought that was Kimmy Sparkle's thing.
Don't you dare compare me to that girl.
Maybe you should think of another catchphrase then.
I have been saying, and as always, don't forget to sparkle long before she was. Anyways, bye.
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 I'm definitely calling her Ginger Sparkle a good lady. Anyways,
I'll go with
I don't think we've heard from Rolo yet. Rolo, do
Huh?
you have any stories or thoughts on family and
I
MLP?
do have a story. I have a nice story. I'm sorry, I'm just extremely tired. It's already 11:30 here at night. So, I remember at the beginning you talking about how, family is usually, your first like friends in childhood, and it's very difficult for me to connect to that because my entire family lived like 10,000 miles away, all the way here in Israel. And, I would just have like brief conversations like, yeah, they exist, until I was the age of like 5, where we went to visit for a month. So it was very depressing. Like all of a sudden you have these people and they kind of accept you, and they're like really nice, and then all of a sudden you have to leave. It's But now I realize that it wouldn't have worked out anyway. You know, I was more of an American kind of kid. As far as how that connects to MLP, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's man.
I swear I had an MLP reference here somewhere.
Ponies, I guess. Just, I haven't even seen MLP for a long time. Like, I've been in like Steven Universe and Gravity Falls and just kind of like just
Oh,
having
yeah.
countdown.
I've barely gotten into Steven Universe. I have not touched Gravity Falls yet, really.
I've seen Gravity
Shame on you, then.
Falls.
Have you seen the finale?
Oh,
I
yes.
Rosie
Oh,
was going off about the finale the other day. Luckily,
Yeah.
I was avoiding the spoilers.
Well, let me tell you something. The moment I figured out the day it was coming out, I put a countdown on my phone, and sadly it said 45 days remaining.
What?
That's really depressing to see that every day just go down by one.
Yes.
Aww.
Gravity Falls schedule.
Yeah.
Did you cancel the countdown, though?
Well, I mean, once we got to the final hours.
Oh, well, can't you cancel the countdown?
What do you mean cancel the countdown? I mean, like,
On your
once it's
phone,
over,
if you have a countdown running right now, can't you cancel it?
it's done. I mean, it's over.
Oh.
They aired it last Monday.
Okay, I thought you were saying that it was still running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's adding time now. 2
Minus-
days after the finale.
Minus 2 days.
Minus 2 days. You're really late for this meeting, you know.
That's a little bit.
Well, this has been an interesting conversation, but does anyone else have anything else they want to add or bring up? Or
Well, it's not this big of a focus in NLP as the main six barely interacts with their parents, as they either don't have them or, well, I usually guess that they are in their early 20s or characters. After all, two of them run businesses. One is a magical princess. Another one is an animal caretaker.
yeah, Fluttershy technically lives alone, and she cares for, an entire forest of animals and then some, because people bring their pets to her to take care of them. She is literally the town vet. But then there's also,
The town vet.
Princess Twilight. She is now, seen as an advisor for the entire country. We got Applejack, who basically Applejack runs the Apple family, or runs the Apple farm for the entire fucking city. Pinkie Pie technically is a boarder. She lives with another family closer so that she can be closer to the job where she works.
Okay.
Rarity owns her own business that now has an extension to it.
Okay, I
like
would
I'm
say
bringing something.
that the cakes consider Pinkie family. She does take care of the twins whenever she can, and she lives there. She's basically like a daughter to the cakes.
And quick thing I want to mention. I know you said that Fluttershy is like the town vet. If I remember correctly, there actually is a town vet. It was shown when Spike was being greedy, and Twilight took him to her.
Oh, I didn't see a vet. I remember the doctor.
Well, there's also a mayor, but still everyone only asked for Twilight.
Damn, it's too late at night here. I am tired. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Make it so.
All right, night.
Okay.
Good night.
Well, we've managed to say goodnight to 2 of the 5 people here. I guess this is the end of the call then. It's been an interesting discussion, and if I can manage to get another one of these things out before next month, it might be considered as a miracle.
Till next
So
time.
I'll let you guys say your goodnights or goodbye or whatever.
This is Rosepel saying, see you later, every pony.
This is Tricky Fox. Stay foxy.
Okay, that's a new one.
Hey, I have to come up with my own catchphrase, right?
It's good enough.
Anyways, well, this is Postscript of the Brony Crusaders. Feel free to join in on the conversation and discussion in the comments section, and I hope to hear more from you guys soon.